Hi, my name is Louise.
And hi, I'm Emma.
And you're listening to Murder or Myth,
the true crime podcast where not everything is true.
The aim of the game is to find out whether the story is actually a murder or if it's just a myth.
Now, let's get started.
Hi Emma, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Louise?
I feel like it's been ages since we last sat down to record.
It's been 6 weeks.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
I'm feeling a little rusty.
In the grand scheme of things. True.
But
we'll get back into it.
Yeah. Going to try our best. So for episode 49, I will be telling Emma the story of the murder of Philip Hoyt. So this story takes place in a small town of Aria, Georgia in 2013.
Oh, it's a recent one.
It's pretty recent. Although not that recent, it's 11 years ago.
That's crazy, but
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we've never done like a 2023 one or something. That's just too recent. I feel like maybe it's not unresolved and things as well. So, Philip came from a highly religious family and was 21 years old when he married his first wife, Maura Hoyt. I also don't have anything for you to write down, but you'll just keep it in your head.
I don't write too much.
He was also 21 at the time.
Okay.
The pair had 2 children during their marriage, Casey and Rebecca, before splitting in November of 2007, only 4 years after the couple had been wed. Philip worked as an executive manager for a technology hardware company and had gained inheritance after the passing of his widowed mother in 2011. So in 2012, God, I am actually so rusty from talking. In 2012, Philip met Shirley Tonesdale, and after 4 months, Shirley moved into Philip's home, where he lived by himself and shared custody of his 2 children. The couple married in February of 2013, less than a year after they had met. In September of 2013, Shirley called emergency services, reporting that she had woken up to Philip unconscious beside her. So Hoyt was rushed to the hospital and was said to have died in his sleep the night before. He was a young man of only 34 but had an underlying heart condition. However, the post-mortem revealed he had consumed toxic levels of digoxin, his medication for his heart condition. Shirley was suspected in the case, but in the meantime she had also filed for his life insurance of $12,000 as the process of her receiving it had not begun. She was arrested shortly after and put on trial for his murder. She was given bail, and at the same time she was continuing to claim his life insurance. However, he had not changed the beneficiary of his insurance policy from his first wife, Maura. Shirley admitted guilt during the trial for a plea deal, but made claims that Philip had been cheating on her and she had acted in a fit of anger. But there was no evidence to sustain her claims, and the deal was dropped. She was found guilty of aggravated murder and conspiracy and sentenced to life in prison without parole. The life insurance had been given to his ex-wife and was in trust for his 2 children. That's the end of my story.
Okay. Thoughts. Very good, detailed, coherent story. So my immediately was like, if you're writing a story, would you've gone to like backstory, first wife, children, new wife, etc. So then I was like, that's a murder. And then the digoxin, I don't know, that's just a chemical I feel like we've had in the story before. I'm like, is that just like a chemical, like if you look up death by chemical, is that the first one that comes up?
Yeah.
But everything seems really like cohesive and true. So I don't know. Maybe I should ask some questions, but I don't have any questions because I didn't write anything down. I thought at the very start when you said 2007 and 2013, I was like, she got her times wrong. Oh no, this is definitely a myth. But that actually was completely wrong.
Fooled you.
You did. So he just like was unconscious, and it turns out he had toxic levels of something. Was the digoxin his heart medication? Did you say?
Yeah.
Digoxin.
He wasn't unconscious. He was dead.
He was dead. Oh, okay. Toss up. I want to say murder. Because I want to say murder, then I'm going to say myth. Then it's like...
You just want to say myth. Let's go murder. You just want to say murder. Let's
final
go myth.
Call murder. And if it's myth, very good myth.
It's a myth.
Oh.
I'm not super sure digoxin has ever been mentioned before because I looked up heart condition medication.
Okay.
Which is very specific. So I've never mentioned it before.
In a story, I feel
but
like
I definitely think oxin sounds like, I feel like I've listed off. And actually, when you said it, I was like, oh no, because I think I list that a lot in myths.
Yes.
The chemicals to sound more
Yeah.
official.
Because that's why I was like, for sure we've said digoxin before, or maybe I've said it.
Maybe you've said it because I mightn't have taken note as much.
Drug digoxin, yeah.
But I definitely...
And maybe as well when we're like just
Haven't
like
said it.
researching, we just like,
You just
what does this do? And
come up on
digoxin,
similar things.
perfect. Like, let me write it down. Yeah, wow, that was a good like well put together story in terms of backstory, set the scene, run through it, no faffing around, like fairly good. I liked it.
Thank you. I don't have much more to say on the topic. I wasn't sure. Did I talk quite fast? I felt like I was kind of...
Yeah, but like there wasn't a place for me to jump into. Like there was nothing for me to latch onto.
Yeah.
You covered all your bases. There was no loose ends, I feel.
Sometimes I'm like I'm reading the story, but then I'm also elaborating. Do you know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
Like on what I've researched or what I'm... Like the story was in my head. But then other times I'm like, word for word, it's a script. So I'm not going off it.
But then as well, when you like talk fast and to the point, and like, you know,
Further confirms.
concise, I'm like, okay, murder, because there's not much else. You can't divert, you can't just like embellish a
Add a
murder
couple of
because
details.
you don't know what the details were, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I was like, okay, she's got it, murder. But see there, I was like, okay, it seems like a murder to me, so I want to say myth just to be
I know.
correct.
I also, when I was writing highly religious, I was like, oh, is she going to catch on to the fact that we had a discussion about religion earlier today? But that was very small. And then I thought maybe she'd catch on to that, and then she'd think you probably wouldn't add that, and because we just had that conversation. So I was trying to think how you would think, but it never actually came up. Just obviously ignored the detail.
Well, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, actually, maybe it was just the very, very start of the story, and then the fact it was just,
and then also the
21.
The
I was
date
like, okay,
jump.
I guess that.
I feel like you were kind of moving. You were focused on that.
I was like, oh my god, she already
got her out.
I was going to jump in about that, and then I was like, wait, let her say another sentence, and then it cleared up the whole issue. But yeah, I didn't really pay attention to that highly religious part. Why did you throw it in? Just because?
Because I kind of wanted like him to have gotten married young and then just like married again, kind of, because the idea for my story was I had a completely different idea for my story. I actually don't know why I went to that one. That's kind of interesting. My idea for a story was like, he forgot to change his insurance, so I knew there had to be two marriages.
Oh, okay.
That's what I went into it with.
Interesting. Like the thought process.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thanks for listening. If anyone made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe.
On this week's episode, I incorrectly guessed Louise's story, which was in fact a myth.
Find us on all streaming platforms.
Join us next week for another thrilling adventure.
Remember, it's myth until proven murder. Slay.